Hey guys, it's April the 1st, and I'm out relaxing, taking it easy today. April Fools, the joke's on me. We're busy here again, working today on firewood, and sometimes I do little videos about sort of the flow of our work over here. And I do that for anybody who's crazy enough to maybe follow in our footsteps someday, that they kind of know how we structure our year as it goes on. And for the past few months, I've been over in this same block of woods, maybe 5-6 acres that I have around me here. I spent the whole winter over here thinning firewood and accumulating my wood for this year, or for next winter. And so that's what I'm splitting today. And I'm trying to get this all done ahead of time. I know last year, or the last couple years really, I messed around trying to junk all this up with my bow saw and stuff at home. And I don't think my wood was getting seasoned well enough, because I was sometimes as late as like July before I had it all cut and piled. And so anyways, this year I thought I'd get ahead of this and get it all done, so that it frees up our time to do some more fun projects. And we've got some cool building projects coming up on our channel. We're going to do a greenhouse and a gatehouse and a few other things. But anyways, April the 1st right now, and the sap is now running in all the trees. And so we've been waiting for this. It probably started, 2 weeks or so ago. But a few of my friends are tapping maple trees and making a bit of syrup this year just for fun. We never got around to it, unfortunately. I wanted to show that on the channel too, but maybe next spring we'll get to it. Anyways, because of that, because the sap's flowing this time of year, I've really slowed down cutting firewood. I haven't really been doing any hardwoods, I should say. I don't cut too many anymore, because a lot of the hardwoods that I cut through this section were in clumps. And it's one thing to cut a tree that's on its own. You can take it down and it's not hurting anything around it. But when you have 3 or 4 trunks coming up in one group, if you start shearing those off, you can do damage. And so I've kind of slowed down on the hardwoods, and I've turned more to the softwoods. And we've started taking those down for the past 2-3 weeks. And as I drop them, if they're a nice straight log, I'll take the time to go and skin it and put it up on runners to dry properly. And then that's going to be some of the building materials that we use this year, because we're trying to show people ways that they can build for really, really cheaply. And so the wood that we're using, we're trying to experiment with ways to build things that cost no money, and it's just using raw logs and stuff from out of our woods here. So we'll see how some of those projects go this summer. But suffice it to say, you spend your fall and winter months doing your firewood, and your springtime, you want to try to get all of this stuff split and junked and piled up so that it seasons at least for the summer months. This year I'm going to have May, June, July, August, September, and October. So I'll have at least 6 months to season this wood. And that should make a positive difference on the amount of BTUs and stuff this puts out in the fall when I start burning it. If anything though, I've cut quite a bit of wood this year, and I'm hoping to maybe get a head for a year. I just have to watch it, because a lot of the wood we cut is birch, and it doesn't last very long. And so if I cut too far ahead, I'm going to end up just wasting my effort and having rotten wood. But anyway, back to how we do our chores. We're going to cut this wood up and pile it, and then between now, April 1st, and June 1st, we've got to prepare our greenhouse and our gardens and that sort of thing. We usually, around here in eastern Canada, we plant by maybe the first week or so of June, and that's when we have our last frost usually in the area. And then then you get into, of course, to tending your garden and whatever other projects that you're doing in the summertime. But that's basically the flow. Fall, spring, you cut all your hardwoods. Once the sap starts running in the spring, you can turn to making maple syrup. You then junk up all your firewood and you pile it, and then you move on to doing stuff in your garden or whatever else you're going to work at that year. So hopefully that helps people, give them some direction. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, all that stuff.